Hi, I'm an annoyed Mescus mouse, and today is 2/7/2016, which means I'm a day late for a video. Now, some reasons why I'm annoyed is yesterday I was going to make a video. I hadn't forgotten or anything, but I was really sick, so I said I'll do it tomorrow, and I'm sticking to that. Hopefully this third time is a charm, because I've been trying to record this video for hours, so hopefully this one works, because I don't want to keep sitting here and try and get the same information out in a video. So yeah. Another stupid small thing that is annoying me is every day I like to have a fortune cookie and get my daily fortune. And lately I keep getting stuff like this one, which is today's, which is romance will come your way soon. But yeah, every day I want a different fortune now. Why this is kind of annoying is, well, I'm single. And I don't do things that should make me, present me in a way of someone who is looking. I take some pretty crappy care of myself, which I'm trying to work on. So that is good, but when you look like crap, people don't usually find any romantic interest in you, which is okay, but that's what it is. And another annoyance is I keep hearing sounds that I don't want in the video all around me, even though there shouldn't be so much damn noise, but today it just seems extra noisy. I don't know. Things I want to talk about is this book, which is Live Clean to Be Strong and Stay Sexy, Chill Out and Get Healthy, by Amy E. Ropp, MS, LAC. Now, this isn't some fad diet book, because I'm not up for diets or any of that stuff, or something to work out and get dropped soon. Which, it's not a fad thing. She is certified in Oriental medicine and acupuncture, so it's not like something I'm going to just try a new diet and throw the diet out in a week. I had already started that book months ago, but I ended up losing my bookmark page, so I had to start all over, and that's one thing I hate about reading a new book, is if I lose the bookmark, I am unable to figure out where I was last, and I don't like to start from the very beginning and go over. So, the other night I just said, yeah, it's been a little bit, I'm going to start this book again, because I need to work on things in this book. And things I need to work on is my health. And that's a big part of what the book's about. It does go over, fertility health, which I don't really care about. As far as having kids, I'm single, so I'm not really worried about that. Plus, I'm not really presenting myself in a way to make myself attractive. And what I mean by that is I don't take very good care of myself, so that doesn't look good to any prospective romantic interests. So, yeah. At the crack center, I'm working on this hat. It's their loop and hook, or loom and hook. But yeah, it's really nice where I've got it to, but I still got a long ways to go. Hopefully this yarn is enough, but we'll see. I really do love the coloring on this, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, I love multiple colored yarns, and I like this kind of fuzzy yarn that this is. I haven't worked with it before, but I'm really enjoying it. If I didn't get sick, I would be farther than this, but I had to get sick. Something I learned from the last time I went to this crochet and knitting group at the crack center was how to do this, which I'd seen it before, because you can buy headbands all over with this kind of detailing, but whenever I'd seen it, I always thought this was really hard to do. I mean, I hadn't seen how it was done, but it looks like you just, of course, go straight through whatever you're doing, but that's not exactly how you do this. It's actually quite easy. Now, you take a piece of ribbon. I can't remember what size you said to go with, but anyways, you get a piece of ribbon, and then what you do is you start in one corner, which you also got to make sure that it's even on both ends. It's not one of the triangular ends. It can't be a fancy cut, it has to be a straight cut on the ribbon. So anyways, going from one corner, sewing in a zigzag motion, triangles. Now you don't have to sew along the bottom, you just sew triangles, like this, in a zigzag motion. Now you want to keep them as close to the same as you possibly can, which for me this is really hard because my stitches don't always come out the same, and I did need a little work on getting the triangles to work where I wanted them. So mine isn't perfect, but it's pretty good. I mean, since I didn't have my triangles exactly, you can see that it's not all, like right here. I don't know if you can, like this one right here. I don't know if you can see that very good, but it's not even with the rest. Which, yeah, that really bugs me that I didn't do that good. But this is the first time I did it, so I did okay. And, of course, Patty, the woman who showed me how to do this, has more experience with this, so she is better now. She did get a compliment that when someone had seen her sewing these triangles, she had said if she didn't know any better, or didn't actually see her sewing these triangles, she might actually think that it was machine done, because her stitches are perfect, and the triangles are nice and even, and it's really, she's really good at sewing. I'm not the best at sewing, but I can get through it. It's definitely something I'm going to enjoy doing in the future. This one, when I go back to the group again, which should be next week, not this week, I will be able to learn how to finish it, and I'm not going to do a headband with this one, but it's going to be a flower, which I can either put on a crocheted hat or make a pin with it or something. But yeah, it's really cool, and I didn't realize how easy this would be, but it's awesome. Yeah. Another thing is they help out the community in some way, like this crochet group I'm talking about right now, which is the Crack Center. They do community projects where they use hats and scarves and blankets and stuff are used to help the community out, which is pretty awesome. Another one I like to do, which is knit, pray, and crochet, which is at a church. I'm not super religious or anything, so I'll just put that out there. This group goes and makes blankets and hats, and they give them to cancer patients. That's awesome. And there are plenty more groups like these two that I just mentioned in my area, so there's got to be a lot in other areas of the country or the world, so that's pretty awesome. If you're not into crocheting and you can't find something like that, another thing you can check out is volunteering. Locally, I know of a group that I want to check out where they actually teach you how to be a responder to disasters, and they give you free training, and then if something happens, which of course no one wants something to happen like that, but if some type of disaster happens, you will already have the training to go out and help them if you would like. Plus, this one does medical stuff, so if you do want to be a nurse or a doctor or something, you could probably use some of this training for your future too, which will be nice. I mean, I don't recommend just doing it so that you can get that training to advance your career. I mean, I point this kind of stuff out because it would be nice to do for the fact of doing it to help others. A lot of people like to wait till a disaster happens and they want to help. This can be good and bad. I mean, it's good to have people that want to help, but it's also can be bad that you haven't done any kind of training or anything, but there are things you can do when a disaster does strike somewhere. One of the important things you want to do is research what organizations are helping out from your area that you could help. If they are helping, what kind of help are they giving? Are they giving monetary help, or are they asking for donations? If they're asking for donations, what are they asking for? You'll want to check into that because, of course, even though they may be a non-profit organization, they might not necessarily have a room or any place to store a bunch of random stuff. So they usually will have a list, like on a website or flyers they'll put around the community of things they will be collecting. And you can go with those items if you can, and that's good. Now, you still want to do your research, because if it's not a well-known organization or it's something new, you want to make sure you get a little background on it, because it is good when new organizations pop up to help, but you never know if, hey, is this new organization kind of fishy? Are they pretending to be a non-profit and actually just taking full advantage of this disaster to help themselves out? Which, sadly, some people do get into doing that, which is horrible, but it happens. Now, if you can and are interested, I do suggest you look into volunteer opportunities in your area, or groups that may get together for something you want to learn about, such as, like, the crochet thing. You might be able to learn for free and be able to do something that helps the community, which is pretty cool. Well, there is a website to check out, which I think it's volunteer.org, but I'm not sure, so I will find out what it is after I make this video and before I upload it, and in the comments section, whether it be down here, over here, up here, wherever they move it around, that will be where the link will be. It'll be somewhere here. So please don't quote me, I'm not sure if it's exactly volunteer.org or not, but there's a website where you can actually look, and if you want to volunteer in your area, it will list types of volunteer organizations available in your area and things you can do to help out in your community, either regularly or ones like the one I just mentioned, where it's going to be responders for disasters. And you can get free training to help, and they'll have you ready for when something happens. If you do want to help something like that, it would be good to do something when there's not a disaster going on, and then you can get the training, and then when needed, you can be right there. You'll have already had the training and be able to help out. But if you're unable to find something like that, you can always do your research when something does happen and figure out what organizations are available, what ones you trust, and what they're asking for, and if you have it. And if you don't, is it something you can go out and buy, or something you can make and give to them, or what? And go by that. Cases of disasters, there's all kinds of things that are needed, so there's a good probability someone out there is looking for resources that you could provide them with some of that they could give to the disaster victims. So would be awesome, and I'm sure there will be people that will appreciate it, so that's very good. Now that I'm not sick anymore and things are getting back to normal, I'm going to have a lot of stuff to do. I signed up for a lot of free classes at the Croc Center. I signed up for vocational rehabilitation, which will help me with finding and securing a job, figuring out what training I need, and helping me get that and everything else. And I signed up for ABE at a local college, which is free. If you don't know what that is, it's Adult Basic Education. Now, I already have my GED, so I don't need that, but Adult Basic Education can still be useful. For one, I know it works on your math, and I really need to improve my math. Since it's free, I'll have an instructor. I'm gonna check it out, and that'll be very good to go over, because math is something you need to get by in this world for a lot of jobs and training. You may think, oh, it's math, who needs it? But if you really break it down, we use a lot of math in our daily lives and don't even think about it. Like, for example, you may be going to the store and are about to have a party and you decide, oh, I want some soda. Alright, I'm going to have 12 people over, but I want to have extra stuff. If I do the 24 pack and another 24 pack, 2 times 24 is going to be 48, so that should be plenty of soda for 12 people, especially since a couple of them are going to drink other stuff. Or if I have a 16-ounce bag of chips, is that going to be enough for 12 people? Or if I get hot dogs, how many do I need for 20 people? Or whatever the case may be. You may decide I want to have a barbecue, so I need at least such and such amount of hot dogs and hamburgers, so everyone can have whatever they want. And go by that. Or maybe you'll want some chicken, so you can have some beer battered chicken off the grill. That's really good. So yeah, you gotta think of that kind of math. If you're going to build a doghouse, you will probably want some basic math to use for that, because you're not going to want a bunch of pieces that are all different sizes and don't really add up together the way you want them to. And there's a whole bunch of other things for similar examples, but those are the 2 I'll give you today. Now, you may not need to go over linear equations to cook your dinner, but there are some math problems that might help with that too. For like, if you're doing a recipe from scratch, you'll want to make sure you're getting the exact ingredients. If you're doubling the recipe or tripling the recipe, you'll want to make sure you're getting the correct amount of ingredients, and it can be faster if you can add up hey, this recipe calls for half a cup, and I'm going to make 2 batches, so that'll have to be a whole cup of this one ingredient, and these other ingredients will be so on and so forth. There's even more examples I could go over, but I don't want to make this video too long and too boring, so yeah, I'll go over something else now. I have not read the whole thing yet, but this book has so far been some really good stuff, not to ADD and jump around too much, but yeah, this has been a good book for me to go over. There are probably hundreds of other books to check out, so why don't you make a comment on this video in the comments section, or do a response video and post a link in the comments, or wherever the comments may be, even if this is an old video, and tell me what is a book related to health that you found very helpful in your path, and what you liked or disliked about the book, or maybe you read a couple of books and disliked them completely, and why you disliked them so much. Alright, this has gotten pretty long for what I was going for, so until next time, take care.